Hello and welcome back to Jamie's Wee Podcast 2.0. After a lengthy layoff, I am back. And I'm back with a brand new website which you can find at jamiesweepodcast.com. There's some new branding. And basically I've just been doing some fine tuning to try and make this podcast a lot more digestible than it was before. And with a clear focus now around the subject of mental health. Now if you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, then show me some love. Follow the channel or subscribe or whatever you need to do. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then please like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell so you get notifications for future episodes. Now without further ado, it's time for a brand new episode. And in this episode, I speak to my good friend Cam out in the east coast of Bali in front of the Lempi Young Temple Gate, which is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We discuss his brand new company, Astray, and all the new camera straps that they've just produced. And we discussed the mental health implications and impact that he's experienced going from a digital content creator to a physical product producer. Now it is Christmas. I know this is a difficult time for everyone, but I hope you're all happy. I hope you're all healthy. I'm sending every one of you love from here in Bali. Hold your family tight. And let's just try and make the most of this. I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope it brings you some Christmas cheer. And I hope at least it provides a small distraction. So, enjoy. I must admit, man, when I was thinking about Jamie's Wee Podcast 2.0, I had aspirations, I had ambitions for this to be a very unique podcast. But I never thought I'd be sat here at Lempi Young Temple in Bali doing the first episode.
It's pretty unique.
It's very unique, man.
It's
so
a pretty special place.
Just to give people an understanding of how significant this is, why don't you explain where we are and what this place is?
Oh man, we're at Lempi Young Temple, up in Karangasem, the Karangasem region of Bali. This is, like some would say, one of like the spiritual capitals of Bali. Some people say Ubud, but Lempi Young, when it comes down to it, really is. This is one of the closest temples to Agung. Is that right? Is it one of the closest temples to Agung? There's one that's on Agung, but this is the second closest. It's one of the I might get this wrong. It's one of the 7 or 9 pillars, spiritual pillars of Bali. 6. Glad I've got my fact checker over here.
Thanks for being here, Kresna. You're making a difference.
It's our studio audience.
Yeah. We've got it all. Yeah. We've got it all.
Yeah, so it's one of the 6 spiritual pillars of Bali, which like another one would be like Pura Luhur, and Uluwatu or Ulandanu. But yeah, it's extremely significant. This place on any given day, as you know, I mean, you've been here before, will be flooded.
Well, I've only ever been here. The first time that I came here was last week, and it was with you.
Oh, that's right.
So it was the first time that I'd ever been, and I must admit, I was very much put off coming to this place. I've been to a few places in Bali, but in terms of coming to this temple, I'd heard that it was so busy.
Yeah.
Getting here at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning, you're always greeted with at least 200 people in a queue for hours.
Easily.
For a 30-second opportunity to get a picture. It's the famous picture, the mirrored picture of the temple with Mount Agung.
The mirror underneath.
Exactly.
Get the reflection.
So I've never been here up until last week. So I have only ever, this is my second time here now, and I've only ever seen it with no people here. And we've had it to ourselves, man, so feeling like VIPs.
It's pretty cool, man. It's special.
It's very cool. Now, how on earth did you manage to wangle this for us to get this on our own with no one else here? This is pretty special.
Man, I can't take any credit for it. I think that's the job of our studio audience over there.
Our studio audience of one.
Yeah. So I met, just like a brief backstory, I met my good friend Kresna. We have mutual friends. My first friends upon first moving to Bali like 4 years ago were best friends growing up with Kresna. And we just got introduced to each other, maybe earlier this year. And ever since, he's just been along this ride of this journey, this Osprey journey with me, helping me with every little thing. He's so well connected here on the island. And
maybe I should get Kresna on the podcast
just
next.
Bring him over here. Why am I sat down?
Yeah, I think I should just replace you, sub him in last minute. So that's cool. So we've got you to thank, Kresna. We have you to thank for this, for having this place to ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
He really just got in touch with the head of Lempi Young Village.
Yep.
Now another good friend, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And Yeah.
It's been a really cool day, man. It's been a really cool day. And that leads me on to why are we here today? What is the occasion?
Well, aside from shooting this exclusive Jamie's Wee podcast
of course.
Limpo Young People, we're getting the final little tidbits for the short film that we're making for the product release of our new company, Osri, that we're starting here. And we had to come back pretty much to interview the head of Limpo Young Village, who we met last week, and kind of get the final little touches of the film.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. And what
is going on behind?
I don't know. I don't know.
No longer have it.
Thank God this is a visual podcast as well as an audio podcast. If you could only see what we can see, you won't be able to hear it if you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or whatever. But we've got a whole group of, I think it's Balinese people in here with a sign saying "We love Bali." So we're not here on our own anymore. We've got company,
You're
so
not alone.
we'll just persevere, man. And if you hear a bit of background noise, don't worry about it.
Guys, a little more love.
It's all good. It's authentic. It's authentic. But man, what sparked the idea for you wanting to create a product here in Bali?
Man, that's loaded. There's a lot of reasons, man. I mean, my wife Kelsey and I, when we first moved here, we knew that we wanted something that tied us to this island. Like, we immediately knew, wow, this is home. You know, it's not often that happens where it hits you like a brick, you know, like wow, we want to be here. And we needed something that tied us to here, but we always said that anything that we do, we want to make sure that it's somehow giving back to the local community. So that it stopped us from doing something for the longest time. It was almost like a guilt, you know, like we wanted to start a business. We were just working as photographers, filmmakers. Kelsey did some modeling, some yoga teaching. But yeah, we decided we wanted to make a product, but we had no idea how to tie it to the local community. And what I was doing in my career at the time is just making like short films for tourism boards and tourism agencies and stuff. And
hey,
they like that one. Thanks for the support, guys.
The studio audience is doubled in size. I've got 2 people back here.
But so we came up with this idea to tell stories via a product that's handmade in Bali. So we pretty much use the opportunity to hire local artists and creatives to create these camera straps, these handmade, because any type of leather product in Bali has gone, see, they love leather. Any type of leather product in Bali has always been popular. You know, it's something that they've used for a long time for, you know, clothing, footwear, anything like that. You know, there's a lot of leather around. Yeah. And so there's a lot of local craftsmen who know how to carve it and know how to really work it. So I was like, man, let's make some cool camera straps and let's tell the stories of these artists, of these locations that we love here in Bali, here in Indonesia, and use the straps to kind of uphold those, or not uphold those traditions, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, maintain.
Enforce?
Not enforce. What's the word? Preserve.
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 Tradition. Doesn't get more Scottish than that, my man.
That's right. So yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to do, and it all just escalated. It really just escalated, and now it birthed into what is Osri.
And the name Osri, what is the meaning behind the name Osri?
It's a unique. It translates to a unique kind of beautiful.
Okay.
So like,
so it's a Balinese word.
It's Indonesian.
Indonesian
word.
word.
So it's an Indonesian word that means a unique kind of beautiful. We've got selfies going on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Main stage.
Yep.
So it's a unique kind of beautiful, a place that calms the soul and puts you at ease, sparks creativity, typically consumed with lush greenery. That's like the paragraph.
That's beautiful, man.
Definition.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And
so it fits Bali.
It does fit Bali, man. It absolutely does fit Bali. I think it's a very good explanation of the island of Bali, which leads me on to the next point. Why is the island of Bali so significant in the creation of not just Asri, but also to you, man? Because I know, having known you now, we've grown very close in these coronavirus times.
That we have.
We have, and I've grown to know your love and your passion for this island. So why is it so significant to you, and why is it so significant that you created this brand here and that its home is here?
Wow, that's a good question. Man, it's It's a really good question. I think like I said before, from the second we got here, we knew that we wanted this to be home, and it meant so much to us. And it wasn't just the location. It wasn't just like how beautiful the scenery is, the landscape, all that's great, but it's the people. Like the people here just almost, it's not like I had to forcefully try to integrate myself. They just embrace you.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure, man.
And we felt that the second we got here. It was like, we don't want to leave. And then all of our friends who we were meeting in the local community were like, we don't want you to leave. And it was like, then we're not leaving. You know, we need to figure out a way to stay here.
Yeah.
And I think just that alone is what made Bali so significant and brought it so close to our hearts. You know, and it's something that we will always feel tied to and connected to. So that's. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Again, knowing you, it makes a lot of sense, because I don't think I've ever met anyone on this island, Westerner wise, who's so close to the Balinese people to the point where you can actually speak
strong statement.
a bit of the language. You know, you've got a bit of Bahasa in there, Bahasa Indonesia.
We're learning Bahasa Indonesia.
So no, it's cool. It makes a lot of sense to know you. It makes perfect sense. So
that's cool.
It's cool to see that your love for this island is also it kind of portrays through the brand of Astri, and it's cool, part of every part of the process in making the brand, which I was going to ask you next. Talk us through. I mean, it's more than just a strap. Obviously, it's more than just a camera strap.
Yeah.
It's talk me through the process, kind of from start to finish, and why each part of the process is so important to you.
Yeah. I mean, from the get-go, from the beginning of this, we wanted it to be not a focus on the product, but a focus on the story. So every strap we make, every product we make, anything we do in the future from here on out, it's all going to be based on a story. So we take stories based on a beautiful location, our Asri, where we find our Asri here on the island, here in Indonesia. It might even expand to, outside of Indonesia. But for us right now, Asri is Bali. Bali is Asri. And so we're taking these unique, significant locations here, and we wanted to tell the stories of them, why they're so significant to the Balinese people, why these locations on Bali are Asri to these people. And so the whole thing was based around the story. It was all based around that, or it is based around that. And then, so we kind of from the get-go, we wanted to bring in local craftsmen, local artists, creatives. It took a long time. As you know, you've kind of...
Yeah, I've been there. I feel like I've lived it with you.
For a lot of this. It's been a lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
But it's all made the process perfect. Yeah. Exactly what it needed to be, because every little aspect of the product itself is based, like I said, around the story, which we wanted to keep it local. We wanted to keep it in the hands of creatives, in the hands of artists. So we would find these people who could do things that we knew machines could do, like cutting and sewing and carving the leather and carving the cast iron stamps that then embed like the actual strap itself, like the graphics, all these things. We wanted to find people who, we wanted to put the work directly into people's hands and allow them to be creative and allow them the opportunity to tell the story of Asri, of this location. For our first collection, it's Mount Agung, which we would be able to see if it weren't for the clouds.
It should be right there behind.
It should be right there.
The girl getting her picture taken just there, but unfortunately it's not. We've got some cloud cover.
Yeah. But that's why it took so long. Yeah. It took every step along the way has been just a beautiful nightmare.
Yes.
An absolutely beautiful nightmare, because
all the beauty and all the pain is in every single strap of yours.
Yeah.
Every strap has got a story.
Yeah.
This is very much not...
Every aspect of the strap, from the guy who stitches it, to the guy who cuts it, to the guy who carves it, to the guy who stamps it. Every little bit is an individual who specializes in what they do, and they have a little piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
They have a little, they're connected to it somehow.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to a different person, I'd gauge them. I'd see like if they were interested in it, if they were really interested in each person who worked on these straps. They were passionate about it. Oh, I get the opportunity to tell the story of Mount Agung through this. Sick, right? That's on. And as soon as people would give that reaction, it was like, welcome to the team.
That's one thing I love about this, the Asri brand, is every person by name. Right through from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. You know them all by name. You could probably name their mums and dads, their cats, their dogs. You've been at their house for tea and dinner. You know what I mean?
It means a lot to you.
Makes it easy that the Balinese have like 6 names to,
it
to,
does,
to shovel through.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But you can see that it means it's not fast fashion. You know what I mean? This has actually got a story. It's got a bit of heart. It's got a bit of soul, which is the most important aspect to this. So that's cool, man. That's really, really cool. Now, you are originally a digital content creator. You still are. That's still your bread and butter. That's still your day job.
Is that what we're calling it today?
Yeah, digital content creator.
I'll take it.
I don't want to call you a travel couple. I know your thoughts on
another conversation.
Yeah, I know you don't like being called a travel couple, so we'll stick with digital content creator. So what's the process of going from that to a physical product producer? How has that process been for you?
Man, it's been a transition, and it's so fitting to the year 2020. You know, it's
the year of the pivot.
The ultimate pivot year, exactly. Which is so funny because at the beginning of this year, this is like a little side note, but I got this tattoo. I don't know if you remember when I got this, but it's an owl and shows me, or not me, I'm sorry. It shows like a figure standing in these woods with an owl over top, which an owl, like it represents transition in life, like a major transition in life. And at the beginning of this year, I got this tattoo, and just not even realizing what was coming to carry. Yeah, exactly. What was coming in 2020. And everyone was forced to pivot. Everyone was forced to transition. And for us not being able to travel and create the way we normally do, we had to find some way to sustain ourselves, obviously. But it was beyond just that, because like I said, we always wanted to have a business here that gave back to the community. And what better time, what better period in history than right now. So we kind of like, as soon as everything happened, Kelsey and I just looked at each other. I remember one day we just looked at each other and we were like, let's just make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's just try. Let's give it a shot. If the right people come together, if the right, dots get connected, then it'll happen. It'll work.
Absolutely.
Here we are. It's been a long 7 months, but
it really has.
Seems to be working. We'll see. We'll see in a month.
We're almost there. We're almost
there.
I mean, with every great pivot comes some great struggles as well. Yeah. So, I mean, which struggles have you faced? More like mental struggles have you faced in this transition? Because I know, again, being close to you, that it hasn't been an easy ride for you. So, what has been the hardest parts of this process for you?
I think, to be honest, I feel like I can't give a fluff answer, because you do know, because I've complied.
Oh yes, I don't want fluff on this podcast. I want the nitty gritty.
Man, the nitty gritty. It's dude. I think confidence, self-confidence, imposter syndrome has been huge to me. The steps along the way, the hurdles that we've had to cross, they've been fun, honestly. Like, I may complain about them sometimes, but they've been fun.
Often.
And like I said before, they've just made the story better.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, revolves around the story. So I think that the hindrances have all been within myself. I think a lot of fear of transition. I think a lot of people have faced that and could relate to that in 2020.
Like fear of what? What was the fear?
Fear of failure.
Failure.
Fear of failure, fear of wasting time.
Yeah.
Because this is a time when, like, being here, it was like you make a decision to follow through on something, and without money coming in, you're investing the money you have.
Yeah.
And it either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that put a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself.
So you felt like you were going all in on this project?
All in.
All in.
Absolutely all in. It's what I've, other than a few little video projects here and there, it's all I've been working on. It's all I freaking talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's consumed me.
It drives me to drink. Listen to that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Jamie had to take a full month of sobriety after all of this.
Right.
Yeah. But I think just a fear of failure and imposter syndrome. Like, what gives me the right to think that I can tell these stories and make a difference?
Yeah.
What gives me the right, what makes me feel so entitled to be able to do that, to be able to stand up and say, hey, I want to help in these ways. Like, I don't know, it was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But it's one that I battled with daily.
Do you continue to battle with that on and off, you believe?
I do.
Less and less?
Less and less, man. The more it's come about, the more I've been able to see the people that have come together on this, just these incredibly creative human beings here on the island. and seeing their passion for it has just like, how could I possibly be scared if they're so excited? It's like sometimes I have to just remind myself, like, man, chill out, bro. Like, these guys are stoked. Wipe that look off your face. They're amped. They're wondering why you're so scared, you know?
I mean, when we were here a week or two ago, I mean, we had such a good group of people, and it was real. I mean, for me, I was here, and it was really special to see everyone come together at this temple, which is usually crowded with people. We had it to ourselves, and just everyone was here for you. You know what I mean? It's like very talented people whose time is very valuable and expensive, but everyone just came here together.
It's humbling, bro.
For you and for the product that you're trying to create, you know? So that was really special, man, and I could see you light up for the first time. I think that was the first time that I could see it all come together for you, and you could finally see the kind of light at the end of the tunnel. So that's really cool, man.
It's cool to hear that from your perspective, man, and I appreciate that. It was humbling, very, very humbling. I mean, the community that we've had throughout this time has been unbelievable. It's been unreal, the support. You know, it's another reason why when I have those doubts, I'm like, bro, shut up. Look at these people around you, you know.
But I'm like, Cam, shut up. Give it a rest, man. Have you ever felt like giving up at any part of this process? And if you have, who or what has pulled you back from giving up? Have you obviously talk about your kind of support system. You've got Kelsey, your wife. You've got a good support system in terms of the friendship groups that you've created here. You've obviously got your Balinese friends, and you know, would you credit those people for helping
I think
you get
the support of both, I mean, our community, our friends, as well as our local community. And that's, I mean, it's an even balance there, you know, for as far as the significance that it's played in this whole thing, or the roles that they've played. But I mean, the fact that the more I gained the support of the local community, even just like when we were here last week, we handed a strap to the head of the village in Limpoyong. This is a guy who, like, any bule like us, like, we don't even talk to him, and here we are again another week later sitting in his living room.
Feel like part of the family these days.
You know, like it's amazing, and seeing the look on his face when he got the product, and looking at it and hearing us tell the story, like his support. Just knowing that we have the support of the local community took away all the feelings of imposter syndrome. Like, I don't have the right to do this. It was more like, wow, we're doing this together. This is awesome. I don't know if I answered your question. What was it again?
Can't even remember the question, man. You go off in tangents, but I love it, man. It sounds fantastic. So I'm sure you answered it somewhere. So we'll just continue. So you've obviously had a great experience now of creating a brand, a product, a business here in Bali. If someone wanted to create their own business here in Bali, how easy or how hard is it, and would you recommend it?
Man, I think, I mean, as generic as this sounds, it's to each their own, you know. Like, it's definitely, I wouldn't say that it's easy.
Is it harder than, say, Western countries?
Yeah, you don't have the convenience of having things, like a lot of people have this misconception when they come here and think to start a product brand. I mean, we see it all the time. We see people coming and starting jewelry brands and bag companies and all these different, you know, clothing labels, all these things. It's very, very popular here. People coming from Western countries to do that because the Made in Bali tag it's valuable. And they come here and they do the fast fashion. And if you do the fast fashion, it can be pretty easy. But you're going to have to learn patience because everything moves dead slow.
On Bali time.
Everything is on Bali time. It's very, very slow. So, but the benefits that come from it are great. You know, there's a lot of benefits that come to having a business here. I mean, I could list a bunch, but it would probably run our time up a little bit. But I mean, I would suggest to people that if they wanted to do it for sure. It's awesome. It's great. I mean, why not create a product in a beautiful place like this? The local people are so willing to help. They might move pretty slow, but they're very, very, very willing to help. But my suggestion in doing it would always be, it's the same thing when people talk about wanting to move here. They say, oh, what should I know? I want to move to Bali. I'm moving to Bali this year. You know, you get those messages all the time. What advice do you have? The same thing with a business as it is with just moving here. Invest yourself in the local community to any degree, to any degree. The amount of support, added support you're going to get by doing that, by having those connections, is going to change your whole experience.
Yeah.
People here are very, very tied to community. It's very Commonwealth standing, that's the way it works here. And if you put yourself into the community, you'll notice everybody is so willing to help. Every individual that comes into the situation will be like, I have a cousin, I have an uncle, I have this, what do you need done? Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah. And that just all comes through respect and integration.
It's
and
respect, it's integration,
Yeah.
it's patience,
Mm-hmm.
and it's wearing a smile at all times.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably the easiest way to gain a community here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, if someone's going to buy an Asri product, the camera strap, because that's initially what's coming out, what should they expect from the buying process, from the actual buying it to the receiving it to the aftercare? I mean, obviously there's a story in the straps. I'm assuming there's a story in the buying process as well. So what should someone expect when they buy your strap?
I would hope that they feel a connection to each individual part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
We've included, in the website, everything that we're building right now. We want it to really be, when you go through the process, you're seeing. We want you to feel connected to the guy who had the leather strap in his hand, sitting in his living room, carving this unique image into it. Like we want you to feel connected to each person in this process. This isn't my company. This isn't my brand. This isn't anything like that. This is a collective of people who have come together to create something that gives back.
Yeah.
And
that's a good time.
Upholds tradition.
Yeah, because I don't know if I've touched on that, but the fact that one special thing about Asri is your commitment to giving back with every strap that's bought. And I think
Absolutely.
I think that's quite an important point to touch on.
Yeah. That's the biggest part about this. In upholding tradition and telling stories, we also want to be supporting local artists, local craftsmen, and at the same time, we're giving a percentage of every single sale to a specific village that's tied to each strap in the Asri, in the location that story is being developed in. So for us, like one of the straps, the black strap, is connected to Lampoyang village. So we're giving a percentage of the profits to Lampoyang village to distribute, or Lampoyang temple to distribute to the village during this time, giving food, giving, any type of resources they may need. So that connection has made it just even more special to us.
I think it's a fantastic.
And it's helped us build relationships in these villages.
Absolutely, man. And lasting relationships, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic.
Old Uncle Wyan.
Uncle Wyan or Putu. I think that's the most impressive part of the whole project for me, is your willingness to give away. Because a lot of people come here and they try to make fast fashion to make fast money. All I see is you trying to give your money away through this process, you know what I mean? Spending money on villages and the best stamps and the best people, so you can give back as much money as you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, Cam, is this a business you're running or a charity? You know what I mean? So
I feel the same sometimes. But it's really worth it, man. I want this to be, like I said, I don't want this to be like my company or me and Kelsey's business that we run through a social presence or something. It's a collective of really special people, you want to build relationships. You want some longevity with this brand. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, so that's cool, man. I think that's a really cool point to touch on. So thanks for that. Now, obviously, this is a very new product. It's in fact, doing this podcast, it's still not even released yet. Yeah. So that's how new it is. Yeah. What is your vision, your long-term goals and vision for Asri? Oh, man. What would you like to happen? If you could project? I hate 5-year plans. I absolutely hate 5-year plans. But if you could foresee, like your tattoo, and in the future, what can you see and what would you hope for Asri in maybe 5 to 10 years' time? I want it to expand beyond Bali into Indonesia, sharing stories, traditional stories, and creating products that, beyond camera straps, that we want to create products that help to tell the stories of Osprey
Yeah.
in any location.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would love to be able to utilize Osprey as a reason to travel, a reason to go to a new place, really integrate ourselves into a local community and find the same thing as we did here, find local craftsmen, find people to be able to tell their story through a product and sell that via Osprey,
Yeah.
you know, and then use those proceeds to give back to that village, that community. I want Osprey to be a gateway for people to be able to take pride in their local communities,
Yeah.
you know, like to
It's almost
tell
like a
their
franchise.
stories to, yeah,
Almost like a franchise.
right?
You know what I mean? When you think about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you create an Osprey in,
Yeah.
I don't know, Oklahoma.
Yeah. But that's like the I mean, Oklahoma might be Osprey to somebody, you know.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
But that's the thing. I mean, and we're even starting like this the end of this year, we want to kick off our first like signature series where we use like one of our close friends to create a signature camera strap for himself.
Yeah.
And tell the story of why that place here in Bali is significant to him, and then we utilize the local people to then create his strap. And
Yeah.
so I want that to be something that, you know, we could have camera straps or camera bags or clothing, or I don't know what it is, you know, and the sky's the limit. I think the type of product will depend on the location.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to use products to tell stories anywhere.
Yeah.
In anybody's Osprey,
Yeah.
you know, anybody's beautiful creative destination.
Aye, man.
So
Nice. Very nice.
yeah,
No,
I feel like I was all over the place with that.
you're always all over the place, Cam. And I'm going to have you in this podcast quite a few times because me and you always have deep and meaningful discussions. So
No,
I
we
feel
do.
like we are going to have many a podcast.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're going to go on many a tangent. And I don't mind that. I like when you just speak and I just sit and listen. Makes my job easier, especially on a podcast.
That's
So
right.
you just crack on, son. You just crack on.
Oh, God.
Now, Asri, where can people find out more? I mean, obviously, I'm going to put this podcast out when you allow me to put this out.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that you'll have announced it by then. I don't want to tell people before you've had the chance to announce it.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's listening to this, watching this, where can people find out more about Asri?
Findyourosprey.com.
Yep.
Findyourosprey.com and at Find Your Osprey on Instagram, Facebook, Find Your Osprey.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Good. Yep. Good.
Oh, and YouTube.
And YouTube.
Find Your Osprey.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
So you want to find your Asri, just
my-
type in Find
That's
Your
my
Asri.
first. That's my first plug.
There you go. Aye. There you go.
Didn't come out very easy, but
Might want to work on that.
get better
plug.
on that one.
Aye, please. Now again, I just want to thank you, man, for this opportunity because, again, as I say, when I envisaged finding my podcasty, I'd never envisaged that I'd be sat in front of the world famous Lempayung temple here in Bali, and I don't throw the words world famous around willy-nilly. This genuinely is one of the most iconic picture spots, as you can see. If you're watching this on YouTube, as you can see in the background, this is one of the most iconic picture spots in the entire world. So I could not
Only
be
we
more.
could flip this camera around.
Oh my God, I could not be more thankful and grateful for you allowing me this opportunity to come here and do this with you, man. It's really special, and for being one of the first people to talk to you so openly about your Osprey brand, man. So is there anything you would like to add, or?
Man, I think I owe you all the thanks, dude. I mean, because of you and our other friends here in our community here, dude, this never would have happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thank you. Thank you for coming. You're here because, I mean, last week this guy came and...
I mean, I'm only charging 10% of every sale.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fine.
That's right. I'll click the buy you a beer on your podcast.
You're a gentleman. We'll
Yeah.
call it even at that.
Yeah.
Call it even at that. So if that's
But thank you, man.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem. So is there anything else you want to add? All good? All good. Do you want to wrap this up?
Nah, man, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited for this. I'm excited to see what people think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited to just use this as an opportunity to tell more stories.
Me too, man. I'm excited for you. I must admit, I'm very
Thanks,
excited
man.
for you, man.
Appreciate that a lot.
You know, I don't get invested in a lot of things because there's a lot of bullshit in this world right now. But I've seen every part of this process. I've been through every part of this process with you, and this is more than just a brand. This is a story. It's got life. It's got soul. It's got heart. And I wish you nothing but success with this, man.
Appreciate that, man.
Aye, so I'm very proud of you. Don't cry.
Cry.
Fucking hell, man, up, son. But no, man, I'm really thankful that you've taken some time to speak to me about this. So if you've got nothing else to add, then we'll just wrap this up, because I think we're in everyone's way.
There's a lot of eyes.
We've got a lot of eyes. We have been in a lot of selfies, and this is an unusual podcast. This is probably going to be the first podcast that I post back on Jamie's Wee Podcast with my brand new website, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, I'm honoured.
So it's a day of firsts. Now,
how cool is this, man? Imagine doing these in more
this is
beautiful locations.
I think going forward, I'm going to do more locational themed podcasts.
Yeah.
It's going to be more real, raw, and authentic. I mean, obviously with this audio, you're going to hear a lot of Balinese in the background. You're going to hear mopeds going by. But I quite like that. It gives a bit of heart and soul. You know, it's,
real,
it's not clean and it's crisp. So if you have been listening to this without the visuals, then
welcome to Bali.
Welcome to Bali. I hope you feel like you've been here with us on this discovery and journey with Asri. So maybe we'll just end it with that. Thank you, Asri.
Should we say a quick thank you to our
we can.
To our guys here?
Yeah. Do you want to jump in,
Kresna, boys?
Just say a wee quick couple of words. Just come in, man. Just say.
Come on over.
You're the man to thank for this. Yeah. Yo, just speaking at the mic. Just.
It might be a little sweaty.
Yeah.
So what should I say?
You're live on Jamie's Wee Podcast right now.
My life?
Yeah. You're live, man. So I just want to. I want to thank you, because obviously.
Right.
You're a large part of this process.
Yeah, I love to be here with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's my pleasure. Like, to help you guys. Like, anything you guys need.
Yeah.
And this is like I learned something new from you.
Yes.
And from you too.
Scottish. You learned some Scottish from me.
Scottish accent. Like,
Scottish accent.
We
love it, man.
Oh, sorry. So I'm just sorry, my English is not very good.
No, your English is fantastic, man. Your English is better than my Indonesian, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm just happy I can help everybody, my friends.
And what about Asri to you? What does Asri mean?
Asri.
To you?
Asri is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
what does Asri mean to you? Like the name? Asri.
The name is like Asri means like peaceful, like peace and pretty and beautiful and all the good things.
Yeah, so it's a special word in Balinese.
Special, yeah. So Asri is kind of Indonesian word or Balinese word? Indonesian, yeah. But in Bali also, when people say, "Oh, this place is very Asri," means like just beautiful, just perfect. Yeah. So your product will be crazy.
There you go. You've got the seal of approval from Kresna as well.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to bring you in, man. Just obviously to say thank you as well for setting this up, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
This will be the first ever and possibly the last ever podcast that's done. Olympia Young. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. You're a legend.
You're welcome.
And maybe I'll get you in the podcast at some point.
Oh. Yes. Yeah, you can invite me.
Yeah. We can talk about your dog food company. Or you want to talk about
dog food and trading, forex.
Oh, this man's got his
plug.
He's got his fingers in a few pies.
He's better at plugging than I am, that's for sure.
Excellent. Make of that what you will. On that note, let's end it there. We'll end it on that. So this has been a wee podcast for big subjects and personalities and very cool destinations with a touch of Scottish humour. Thank you. I would like to thank my one patron, Stephanie, who has continued to show me love and support throughout the rebranding process. Now, if you would like to become a patron, or you would like more information on becoming a patron of Jamie's Wee Podcast, then head over to patreon.com/Jamie's Wee Podcast. There are a number of benefits, including shoutouts, stickers, t-shirts, amongst much more, so please go and check that out. Alternatively, you can show support for Jamie's Wee Podcast by buying me a beer. That's right, you can buy this Scotsman a beer through the platform buymeacoffee.com/Wee Podcast. Check it out for more details. If you would like to be kept up to date with all things Jamie's Wee Podcast, including brand new episodes, or you just want a free sticker pack which can be used on your Instagram stories, then check out jamiesweepodcast.com/mailing-list. Now don't worry if you can't remember any of that, then just head over to jamiesweepodcast.com where you will find all information discussed on this episode.